Welcome, Scorpio. Thank you so much for joining me for your monthly horoscope for September for the Sun or the Ascendant. If you've yet to subscribe to my channel, I'd be honoured if you did so now. Please click or tap on the bell notification symbol. You can also join me on Twitter at Horoscope Ace, or Elisa and I for the daily astrology and spirituality show. Please see the link beneath this video. This is great fun. You can grab your free written daily horoscope every day. Here, the dominant astrological influence for each day, and Elisa gives a more spiritual perspective. Now, as this month begins, the Sun and Mercury are in a gorgeous part of your situation. They're in the area which is very much to do with your future, your group interactions, the way you network with others. But there is a full moon which occurs on the 2nd in the sign of Pisces, which for you is your sector of self-expression, of life's joys, of warmth. But Uranus, the planet of surprises, is forging an angle to both the Sun and also the Moon. So I think it's possible that when it comes to your social situation or your direction of travel in life, there may be some thinking or rethinking that goes on over the following 2 weeks, and it could be around a key relationship. Now, the relationship could be with a lover, it could be with a friend, it could be with yourself in some way. But Uranus energy is very instant and it's fast moving, but it can be challenging. Uranus actually is an influence which is exalted in your sign, but the location where it is at the moment in Taurus sees it in its full. It's not its best location, because Taurus energy for you is very much about relationships. So I think that's the area that's going to continue to change over the next 6 years whilst Uranus makes its transit. So I think there's going to be some dialogue on the back of this full moon. Maybe it's going to be about your time management. Perhaps somebody's going to surprise you. Perhaps you're going to be a bit more unpredictable or spontaneous, but perhaps that can also be a really good thing. Now, of course, last month we had a fabulous new moon in the sign of Leo, which angled very helpfully to your traditional ruler of Mars. So how's that going? Because that's going to be still manifesting its energy halfway through this month. And if you have been very focused on a goal or an ambition, then that wouldn't be a surprise. But what this energy in the sign of Virgo is telling you, it's who you know as much as what you know. So the ability to collaborate and network and be flexible is going to help you. Part of the reason for this, Scorpio, is that your traditional ruler Mars, your modern ruler is Pluto, continues to be squared up by Saturn, the planet of structure. Saturn is a very necessary glue which holds everything together, but sometimes it can bog us down. And this right angle between Saturn and Mars all through this month, and the fact that Mars goes into a retrograde on the 9th, suggests that there could be some tensions, and it's going to be important to look after your nervous system, so get plenty of sleep. I'm not a doctor, but you may check out some supplements, things like magnesium or vitamin B supplements. These kind of things can help us sleep and provide some soothing, because you may find yourself feeling a little bit more adrenal, to be honest, because Mars is about action, where Saturn's about slowing things down. So when we put the two together, it creates a kind of contraforce to both their best states. So just be conscious of that. But on the 5th, Mercury, the planet of communication, moves into a more psychological location in your situation, where it's going to be through till the 26th. This may see you do some soul searching, you know, Scorpio. But if that's the case, or you feel a little bit more distant from some people, just try to work through the processes. Actually, on the 6th, a glorious change occurs, because Venus moves into your sector of success. And your personality power can be very important in terms of the professional sphere, but also relationships are obviously critically important to all of us all of the time. You could be about to take one more seriously, or perhaps you can start to forge a relationship with someone through your work, or perhaps from a different age group to you. All of that's possible with Venus making its way through the sign of Leo, which is obviously very charismatic. So if you are applying for a job and you have a real connection with the person that you're talking to, that can be a great help to you, because Venus doesn't just relate to personal relationships, it also relates to professional ones and also loot. So that can be a jolly lovely transit for you. I've told you about Mars going retrograde on the 9th. That's going to go on through to the 15th of November. So patience and the passage of time are going to be more important than strength and fury. You can sweat the small stuff because Mars is in your 6th house, but if it sees you missing the big picture, that's not going to be helpful to you. Now on the 10th we have a quarter moon. This quarter moon presages the fact that there could be some jealousy around a group situation that you're in. Maybe it's you who's going to see a situation in a way which makes you feel a bit left out, or perhaps someone else is playing some political games. Just be conscious of it. It may not come up for you, but just be aware it's there. The 13th, however, a glorious occasion. Giant Jupiter starts to go forwards after a 4-month retrograde. And if there is a kind of plan that you have been developing that is about self-expression, it is to do with publishing or information, it really can start to gain traction. So that's wonderful. The 18th to the 23rd, however, really could see some psychological stuff come up for you. If there has been something that you've buried or you've been keeping quiet that does need to be ventilated, it may need to come out now, and it could be uncomfortable, but just go with the process. Then on the 17th we have that wonderful new moon in Virgo that links brilliantly with Saturn, and that gives you a great structure. And if you've really done your research, you've done your notes well, you've planned out some line of development in your situation meticulously, it can start to really shape up in a very obvious and manifest itself much more practically to you, which can provide great excitement. Now on the 22nd we have a very important day because it is the autumn equinox, and the sun reaches halfway through its journey around the Earth, and in Western tropical astrology this 0 degree Libra is known as an Aries point. For you, I think it's a point when you can think even more about the more subterranean side of life. We live in a world where there's a lot of kind of showing off, particularly through things like Facebook. So there's a lot of fronting up. But what's going on really behind all of that for all of us? All of us. So that's really the theme that I think is going to grip you in the last 10 days of this month. Your psychological well-being. You may find yourself feeling hugely nostalgic for someone or something from your past. But this can also be a time of separation from something that isn't working for you anymore. So something could come to a close. But gloriously, with Mercury moving into your sign on the 27th, you're beginning to recreate a new reality. So new ideas can come in, the pace of life picks up. On the 29th, however, Saturn ends a retrograde, and that's something for all of us to be delighted about. Saturn is a very important influence, as I said before, but coming to the end of its long rewind can just see any kind of oppressiveness that you felt, even if you found the world of news or digital media rather difficult to swallow through the global crisis. I know I have at times. Then I think Saturn being in retrograde has been part of that. If there has been a sense of limitation around where you live, if you had some difficulty with your personal mobility, or your mode of transport has not been quite able to to operate in such a free way. If you felt penned in general over the last 4 or 5 months, of course that would fit with COVID, but it's something deeper than that, deeper within you. But now you can start to feel a much greater sense of liberation, particularly with Jupiter going forwards in this area. Scorpio, if you'd like to ascend above your zodiac sign, embrace more serious astrology, please check out my affordable range of personal horoscope reports. You can get 30% off your 12-month forecast and your character analysis, or you can connect with me for a one-to-one. Please see my testimonials below. But for now, take care, stay safe, and good luck.